Welcome to the Spacey Rush Movement website. And while I'm at making movies, I think I'd just like to make a quick note about other people and what they have found when they've gone through this group session. It's a very light level session, and so this site is not about me. This site, the sessions are not about me. And I'm the last thing that I put on what happened to me. It's the site is not about me. The site is about you guys, about everybody else. And so I just want to tell you. Someone's disturbing us over here. I just want to tell you about what other people have experienced with their memories. So just remember what I wrote here. There was a Chinese guy. There was a guy. He saw himself as a on the corner of these crossroads. He saw himself with a rice paddy hat, and he was drawing a rickshaw, one of those things where people sit inside, and he was on the corner of a busy street. Right in there. I mean, it's the first thing that you come to. There's this guy. There was a guy. He saw himself as a young boy, and he was wearing tattered clothes and like a farm hat or something, no shoes. And he says, "I've got a piece of string in my hand." So we weren't doing a group at this time. We were doing there was only one guy. And I was talking to him, and so I said, "So what's on the other end of the string?" And he looked up and said, "Oh, there's a cow." And I said, why you got a cow? He says, "Yeah, that's my job. I have to look after the cow for the family." Apparently his father had died, and so interesting stuff. And this is bang smack right into it. This same boy, he viewed later on in an important time. He was viewing the Civil War or something, or the War of Independence against England, the Americans against England. And he says he could see the French, and afterwards he walked down, and all the dead that were lying there, they were only children. They were children that were fighting this political war. Hey, what we do. Anyway, and we think we're having a hard time in our lives today. So, there was another guy. He saw himself as a slave. He had to break rocks. He was naked to the waist, wearing what used to be white affair, maybe long pants. I'm not sure. And his job was to break rocks with some kind of a hammer of some sort, he used to be a scribe, and he comes up a little bit later in this as well. The next guy. And then, so he went to an important time, and he didn't go forwards, he went actually backwards in time, and he saw himself, he's got a family, a wife and child, and he's some kind of a writer or something, and he writes with a stylus into like a clay tablet type deal. Fascinating stuff. Farmers, sailors, horse traders, world travelers, man, there's so many. Poor folks, poor folks. Seldom is there a rich guy. I don't even remember seeing a rich guy. Yeah, anyway, there was a little boy that was lost on the station. And this is not a deep session. It's not a self-healing session that I'm doing with the guy. It's not trying to help him over something which he knows what's going on. This is just an exploratory group session. What I offer to you on this website. The deeper stages, of course, that has to be done one-to-one in a closed place, no distractions, and then you go very deep and you see the connections between today and some perhaps past experience you might have had, and then later on you can have all kinds of healings. Your subconscious can do a body scan and do amazing, impossible healings, what we consider to be impossible. What's impossible? It's impossible for a bee to fly. By modern aviation standards, it's impossible for the bee with its fat body and tiny little wings to fly, but we don't care. He flies anyway. He don't care what we think is impossible. Keep that in mind. What do we think is impossible might not necessarily be impossible. It might be just out of our bounds of thinking. Anyway, so this guy, he was just having a group session with me, and another one-on-one. I was just giving him a taste, and he says, "Yeah, He says, I'm a junkie. I don't know why I'm a junkie. I have fear and so the first thing that he went into, before he'd even gone into the group session, he was still viewing these introductory pictures, the corner of a street and on the railway station. He says, "Oh, I'm so scared here." And he found himself as a little guy in smart clothes, and he got lost from his parents or his folk or whatever in this life. And this is a memory which he'd sort of stuck away, and he walked out shaking his head, and I guess he found his reason for him being so in fear. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps. I mean, then there's another one who, he had the group session, and he walked down the stairs, and as he walked down the stairs, he got this tight feeling in his chest. He says, there's a black guy. It's a European pair, a father and an African mother, African origin or roots. And he's got a dark skin. He's a black guy. And he walked down the stairs, and he says his chest felt so constricted, and he walked into this. The first thing that he saw was he was in tatters and tatty clothes, and his hands were all beat up, and he had this beard. And he says, "I got a red beard. A black guy, I got a red beard." And then I look at my hands. Whoa! I got white hands. He was a white guy. So that was quite interesting for him. And he found out the constriction in his chest. He also suffers a little bit from fear of certain situations. And he found out right there in that simple little session, he didn't even have to go for a deep, heavy past life and healing session. He in the simple group session, he got his answers right there. On the last day of his life, he was bound hand and foot, and he was being beaten to death, and the fear of this. And then I had him afterwards. So it's all over, and where are you? "Yeah, I'm above, and it's all over, and I have no fear anymore, and it's all gone, and actually, there's nothing more, there's nothing there." And so he found out, perhaps, where his fear stems from. Very interesting. There's been Greek gods with big swords, Sloshit-2. There's so many. I don't record these sort of things when I have a group and they talk about it. I don't record them. It's just that I remember them because they tell such vivid stories. I paint a vivid picture inside my head, and I love remembering pictures. I'm a movie addict. Not that the reason why I'm making these movies, but I like watching a movie because it's yeah, it takes you away. But it's just a story, you know. When you look at these things, it's not going to change your life or anything. It's just a story, what could be. It's just an indication as to what could be affecting you today, because we live with memories. And how do we survive today? Because we remember something of the past. And when we come into the body in the first place, we've also got memories from our past experiences. Our subconscious does all the library keeping of this sort of thing and gives us what it thinks that we need for our existence today. You could go and get your own truth, but you have to try. So, I mean, the truth about being more than just this body. You have to go and do the past life. You're going to have to go and see that, become aware of another awareness, of another situation. It's not your imagination. These are memories that's been given you. And everybody that goes into deep trance, you cannot fake that. Once they're in deep trance, they can't tell lies. They can't, well, they don't tell lies. I don't know if they can or can't, but they don't tell lies. They don't have imaginary stuff. They don't make things up. And they all seem to tell the same story. Where they come from, what comes after death, and so on. And when you've seen your other life, your other existence, you become aware of that you are more than what you see in the mirror. Then you don't just have to believe what someone has told you at school, at church, or wherever else, I don't know. You don't have to just believe it. You've gone and experienced it. You've got your own proof. This is not dogma. This is your proof. This is not something you have to just accept without proof. You've got your own proof. You've lived it. You've experienced it. And you felt it, and you sensed it, and you smelt it, and you lived it. So this is proof. Proof second to none. Nobody can give you this proof, though. You have to get your own proof. And of course, it's your decision if you want to do it or not. You don't have to do it. It's entirely up to you. It all depends on you. So, and these group sessions are all done in the lighter states, lighter trance, and it's fascinating. You've got to try it. So it's like a dream. When you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning and you have a dream, if you can't remember the dream, tell yourself the night before, I will remember my dream. And when you wake up, immediately remember that you said, you gave yourself a definite Ausgabe. You had to do this thing, and I'm going to remember my dream. And so think about the dream and you'll remember it. These past life group sessions, group regression session, it's just the same as a dream. It's remembering something in your awareness. Remembering we are only aware of this body until we close our eyes and close off our senses, close off our senses, close off our senses, close off our senses. What did I say? And then we become aware of other realities. We have another awareness. And this is your other self, your higher self, your other self. So, what can you find in deep trance? If you've done it in lighter trance, what can you find in deep trance? And that is my job, is to help you relax and help you into a deeper state of trance or a state of awareness, and help you with self-healing. You heal yourself. I just help you get there. You cannot do this while you are analytically thinking. You have to switch off this analyst part of your brain. The left brain for you has to be switched off, and just the right brain becomes aware and just takes a look at. I was asked with this sort of thinking, what about important stuff like bank accounts and stuff? Yeah. Can see all of that stuff, but it's not important to that awareness. It's not important, so there's no necessity to see it. We are in trance. We are in a different wavelength. We're not on with us here. We are 2 steps above. We change our vibration, and that's the reason why we can leave this reality and go into another reality and experience other realities. And there you are not restricted by, here we have a door stopping us. You can walk through the door in an astral state, in an out-of-body state. You can walk through the door. And this is my job. I help the person, the subject, to go into a deeper trance. And there they can get the answers to absolutely any question that they want. But I don't give out bank account details. And they can get self-healing. Their subconscious can do self-healing. And impossible stuff. But it's only impossible for our calculating and analytical minds. Of course, we are just anatomical beings, so it all depends on you. I wish you all you wish yourselves. In love and light. Here's my button. There it is. It doesn't want to stop. Okay.